Hey, welcome back to the channel. This is the most disturbing videos on the internet today. Let's dive in.
Now this right here is from manuscript from ancient.
My name is Ray.
Now this right here is from manuscript from ancient Egypt. And what do you see sitting on the Sphinx?
It's a UFO.
That's what that is, sitting on the back of the Sphinx. And we see that same image in petroglyphs from 2,500 years ago.
Damn.
And that's from near the Grand Canyon. Most of it is off limits. You can't research it, and it's owned by NASA. The Nordics, the reptilians, and that last one, a lot of Native American tribes have stories of dealing with ant people. They would come from underground, they would teach people certain things, and they would go back subterranean. That's how they able to survive all the cataclysms that take place on the surface. They say in order to contact these groups, you gotta take certain. What is that she's holding in her hand? What is this entity's holding?
Mushrooms.
Mushroom. According to science, they wasn't even using mushrooms in this area. Then what is that?
Do you think the gateways to accessing other entities?
Absolutely.
Why would you want to access another gateway is the question.
Hidden in the cliffs of Maharashtra, India, lies the Kyasa temple, one of the most astonishing feats of ancient engineering. Carved in the 8th century under the Rashtrakuta king Krishna I, this massive temple wasn't built, it was excavated. Workers began at the top of a mountain and chiseled downward into volcanic basalt, removing over 200,000 tons of rock by hand. No scaffolding, no modern machines, just hammers, chisels, and centuries-old skill. Unlike other temples, Kyasa is freestanding, its towers, pillars, and sculptures carved from a single, continuous slab of stone.
I don't care who you are, John Henry, there's no way that they're chiseling all that. I do have a new theory that they're using some type of water stream system to carve these. So I've been doing a little research off camera, and I've seen people use like a water jet at these rocks, and they're able to carve stuff with continuous pressure. So that is definitely something to think about. Let me see if I can actually find it for us, because I'm just laying in bed and I'm looking at this and I'm like, man, maybe they didn't chisel that stuff. Maybe they used this water jet system. Ah, here it is.
Here I have a sewer jetting nozzle that cost me around $1,000. My reaction was the same thing. I can't believe I'm about to spend $1,000 on a jetting nozzle, but this is like no other nozzle I've ever used. This particular one is made by Warthog. It's their 3/8 version. This thing weighs about 2 pounds. In this test, I'm running about 3,500 PSI, 9 gallons a minute. I have it wedged between 2 pieces of sandstone and watch it carve up this sandstone. I mean, how badass was that? It literally just etched its initials into stone. In this industry, you need to invest in the best tools, the best equipment to get the job done. You gotta work efficiently. Time is of the essence, and this equipment does just that.
All right, guys, you see it. So if we go back to Kyasa, right? What if this was some you see it? I'm telling you, what if this was just some type of water pressure? I don't know if a flying UFO had 1,000 gallons in it, or if they had something, airships, I don't know, but it would explain somebody could go in with a water pressure and just like, I don't know, man, because you would need a template to do all these different elephants that we see. Because look, if we go through it, you know, You would need like a template or something. I would question if each one of these were the exact same. Did someone go through here and just water pressure this like a coal mine? Is my new theory. Water pressure. So drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know what you think.
Have you ever been to Teotihuacan? Something really interesting happened to me there. This guy, whose nickname was Gorilla, giving us this wonderful tour. And he goes, wait right here. And we're in this giant square. And he runs down this dirt mound about 150 feet away. And he goes, can you hear me? And it was like, oh my God, I could hear him. He goes, this square was built with these mounds here to be able to speak at this voice to 250,000 people.
Whoa.
And I was like, what?
Did it make sense, the acoustics, like the way it's set up?
Because I play music, I thought, okay, that means these acoustics are so perfect. Like, how do you discover that? Are you in a canyon and you're like, wow, this sounds, can you hear me up there?
Right.
And then you sort of triangulate and start doing the geometry for how that works. How does that manifest itself, that understanding?
Yeah, how many thousands of years did it take before they figured out how to construct something?
Yeah,
like
where
that?
someone on their deathbed is like, wait, one last thing about acoustics.
Sound kind of bounces off shit.
But it's got to be shaped like this.
If you thought I didn't have an excellent specimen for you today, think again. Rhodiocorsite with pyrite. This was found in Eagle Mine, Colorado. Look at the pink petals on this exquisite piece. Definitely one to add to the books. If I had to name this piece, I would call it Pink Starburst Flower.
Yo, chosen ones, I need you out in the sun this summer. I need you out on that sun this summer because that sun is gonna expose your gifts, your superpowers, your aura. You're gonna look beautiful in that sun this summer, fam. Hear me out, fam. Yo, the planet, the world, the realm, the simulation, the matrix, whatever you wanna call it, is tilting in the favor of the Most High. Hear me out, fam. That sun is gonna do wonders to your aura. So this year, for the summer, you see that it's getting nice outside? Even those people that live where it's hot all year round. I want you for this summer, from now all the way to like October, get as much sun as possible because the Most High is about to show you off, fam. I'm telling you, yo. People gonna see it. You just get a little sun this year, chosen ones. Just a little sun. And everywhere you go, people go, even though they already sense your energy when you walk into a room, but this time, that sun is gonna do you wonders. It's different this year, I'm telling you. Y'all gonna be like, you just crazy. You just making this up. I'm telling you right now, fam. This is the year where you and the sun need to be best friends, best buddies, compadres, comadres, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to call it. But you and the sun go hand in hand this year because I'm telling you right now, it is going to expose your beautiful aura. People are going to look at you and view you as a representative of the Most High. You're going to look like a literal angel to people. And I don't mean angel in the sense, oh, that's a nice guy, or that's a nice girl, or they're a saint, you know how we use it, oh, that's a saint right there, a nice person. No, I'm talking about a literal angel, an archangel, like a powerful being. You're gonna look like, yo, majestic. That's the perfect word, majestic. That's how you gonna see him this year in the summer, fam. So get as much sun as possible this summer and enjoy it, baby, because it's our time. It's the Most High's time, baby. You Most High certified. Love ya, be good.
I do like being in the sun. It just feels so good. The radiance. It's just something about being in the sun that just feels like a warm shower. All praises to the Most High.
Amun's tomb shows the interior of a cartouche-shaped box found in the treasury. The box contained gold bracelets, several pairs of earrings, and other pieces of jewelry. It also held a unique discovery, the crook and flail, symbols of the king's royal and divine authority. These items are child-sized and were held by Tutankhamun during official appearances.
Ancient texts that don't make any sense. Epic of Gilgamesh. A 4,000-year-old text that speaks of a god warning a man named Atrahasis to build a boat to survive a global flood. The Vimanika Shastra. A 2,400-year-old Sanskrit text that describes flying machines with mercury propulsion systems. the Book of Enoch. It describes powerful winged entities coming from the sky to teach humans about weapons and astrology. Ancient texts that don't make any sense.
Us mere mortals were just handed breadcrumbs.
Watch this with me.
A mosaic bearing the earliest known inscription declaring Jesus is God has been unearthed in Israel. Hailed as the greatest discovery since the Dead Sea Scrolls, the 1800-year-old engraving had been hidden under the floor of a prison. It also features images of fish, which experts say may reference the story of Luke 9:16, where Jesus multiplied 2 fish to feed 5,000 people.
They're saying that scientists are excited after finding this early inscription declaring Jesus is God, and they're saying it's from an 1800-year-old engraving. They dubbed it the Megiddo Mosaic, and it's 581 feet. It had reportedly adorned a private chapel in 230 AD, and it was the earliest known house of prayer.
What's also remarkable is the story of faith behind its creation. A Roman centurion, an artist, and 5 women who made this spectacular mosaic floor and a space for their worship, dedicated to God Jesus Christ. This dedication is now the earliest archaeological evidence of Jesus being called God.
Did you know that they found a whole new lost pyramid, a pyramid that has never been excavated before? Exciting. The pyramid complex is located in Dashur, really close to the famous Bent Pyramid and Red Pyramid. Now, there's no top of the pyramid left, as you can see. It's just the foundations and the chambers inside. Now, everyone was so excited because they were like, we need to open the tomb, the chamber, because it's never been opened before, and we are going to find the first ever dead pharaoh to be found in a pyramid anywhere. Because if you didn't know already, they have never found an original body, an original burial in any pyramid in Egypt, ever. So everyone got really hyped up for the opening of this chamber. Even the Smithsonian Museum sent out a film crew so they could capture the opening moments when they found a real pharaoh buried in a pyramid. And then, guess what they found? Absolutely nothing. So this huge granite block, they had to open up with modern equipment because it had been sealed shut for thousands of years. And there was absolutely nothing. Nothing inside this chamber. Not even the remnants of a burial or a single bone or a single jewel. Nothing. Which was very disappointing for the Egyptologists. However, it is yet another strike in the argument that these pyramids were originally not used as tombs, that the original purpose and function of the pyramids was something completely different, which would make complete sense as to why there was nothing in the chamber, because it's not an original tomb. It is in fact a reaction chamber for the whole purpose of the pyramid, which I believe was a chemical reaction plant. Oh, what now, you say? So a theory, I've recently found a theory by a guy called Jeffrey Drum on YouTube. His YouTube channel is called Land of Chem, as in like chemistry. And he has been analyzing all of these samples that have been taken in every single pyramid site. And I'm so excited, I can't talk. There is hard evidence of chemical compounds all over the ancient pyramid sites. And what's interesting is each pyramid has a different chemical compound found inside these reaction chambers.
Y'all, look, I found some poison ivy. Leaves of 3, let it be. Anyway, if you ever run into poison ivy, there's usually a nearby plant that can help heal it. Just like this one that is not too far. It's literally only a few steps away. So right here is plantain, specifically ribwort plantain. Take the leaves, mash it up in some water, and apply it to the rash as a poultice. This helps draw out the toxins and reduce inflammation. Y'all, look, I found some poison.
Leaves of 3, let it be. Interesting, I never heard that before.
Scattered across the rugged landscape of Sardinia stand more than 7,000 mysterious stone towers known as Nuraghi, silent sentinels of a forgotten civilization. Built over 3,000 years ago, the Nuraghic people left behind no written records, yet they shaped their island with monumental stonework. So advanced, it still puzzles archaeologists today. These towers weren't just fortresses. Many feature spiral staircases, corbelled domes, and inner chambers that rival Bronze Age architecture anywhere in the world. Some sites, like Nuraghi at Baramini, were vast complexes surrounded by entire villages. But who were they defending against? And how did they engineer such massive structures using only stone tools? Even stranger, many Nuraghi appear aligned with celestial events, hinting at a people deeply in tune with the skies above. Were these megalithic towers part of a sacred landscape? Or were they ancient observatories, cloaked in stone? To this day, we don't know what the Nuraghic people called themselves, but their legacy rises defiantly from the earth, challenging us to remember what time tried to erase.
Be a movement driven by big corporations to take the soul away from people, to disconnect people from the higher world. And in order to do that, we have to destroy the pineal gland in people. And I followed the research on that, and amazingly what we found, the pineal gland is the most sensitive part of our central nervous system and is highly, highly, highly sensitive to 4 things: aluminum, glyphosate, fluoride, and Wi-Fi. And we are the only country in the world that has pushed these 4 things in the last 60 years or so on everybody growing up here. And so what I feel, what I observe, and what we're also testing in our ART system is that people have severely calcified pineal glands. And I show the anatomy in some of my courses. It's very clear that the pineal gland is a receiver for higher fields of energy and translates them into thought and into actually controlling our immune system, our endocrine system, and so on and so forth. There's all science, but very few people pay attention to science anymore.
Located near the Wyoming-Utah border, the Devil's Slide is a fascinating geological formation that has intrigued travelers for years. It consists of 2 towering limestone slabs, approximately 25 feet apart, standing vertically on a hillside. The name Devil's Slide comes from railway builders who, upon encountering the structure, believed it continued deep into the ground, imagining that it slid straight into hell itself.
Yeah, there's definitely something unnatural about this slide. What is it? And it does look like there's stairwells in the middle. It does look like it's going down to Sheol. And then like a flood or something happened and made it stop. But I guarantee you this continues to go down.
This guy, John Stuart Reed, he does what is called music medicine.
Uh-oh.
No, it's actually pretty cool.
Oh.
His father was a scientist. They were allowed access to the King's Chamber in the Pyramid of Giza.
Wow.
And you know the big box that's in there? Sarcophagus.
Ooh.
What they did was they put the that frequency reader that where you play a certain frequency and it makes a pattern.
Yeah.
They're reading the frequencies from the King's Chamber and they put it in the sarcophagus. And what it did was it formed different hieroglyphics.
Weird.
But he said something very strange happened. So years prior to that, he got in like a car accident, broke his back, and had to have surgery. And so he lived with like chronic back pain. And he said after they did this experiment with the frequencies in the King's Chamber, his back never hurt again.
Oh my gosh.
And so he started studying it from the 80s.
Yeah.
And basically what he does, it's called music medicine. They take people with like diseases and chronic pain and they play certain frequencies. And he says their blood gets pumped full of more oxygen just from these frequencies.
Wow.
And it allows the healing process to happen quicker.
Can somebody tell me what that is up there? Look at that. Can somebody tell me what that is up there?
There's no way that it's going to be right. Can someone tell me what that is? Man, I'd be going ballistic. They're here. Do you see that?
Jean-Jacques Dessalines. And why is his name banished and outlawed for 100 years?
Why is his legacy and bloodline kept a secret? Why so many different versions of stories about him? Why was the emperor of the world removed from history books? Let's dive deep to the river of truth, guided by the spirits that whispers their deepest secrets to the parallel reality of the mortals. One must know that history is manipulated, altered, politicized, and organized religious crimes. That the Imperium of Haiti is the biggest secret of humanity. They're the greatest shift of human history within this timeline. And the power that be, dedicating a lifetime of rewriting history to cover up the once true leader of the world. Who is Emperor Jacques I? Who is Issa Ingayaya? Who is Jean-Jacques Dessalines? So many storylines, tales and fables about a messianic figure, shattered to glass pieces, while the next generation staring at the infinite version of a manipulated truth. In today's age, due to massive indoctrination and re-education within the school system, no one knows the exact date of birth of the emperor. It was forbidden to even mention his name by the church. They say he was born in 1758 West Africa. Some say Benin, Congo, and even Senegal. This agenda of relocated ancient historical heroes from history book is a prime focus in this continental American culture. Educational hitman like Charles Darwin relocates the old world to Africa. Thomas Madieu, an indentured servant descent, forge and create the biggest confusion and manipulation in Haitian history, causing an everlasting rift between the children of the Imperium. Till to this day, Melville Herkovitz, creating the African American educational institutions that will automatically link any history or legacy of melanated indigenous American to Africa by the stroke of his pen. Walter Plecker introduced the reclassification of the Imperium children, weaponized the Census Bureau, and enforced the redistribution of status and birthrights. Harold Corlander dedicated a lifetime on Haitian spirituality with a sole purpose of relocating the indigenous tradition to Africa, all in the great conquest of buried, true history and the existence of the Empire of Haiti.
It's like an interesting story.
My name is Ray Bowyer and I fly a civilian airliner as captain. I've been invited here due to my sighting last April of multiple as yet unidentified objects over the Channel Islands region of the English Channel.
Thanks for joining us. Pilots and aircraft passengers have confirmed sightings of a large unidentified flying object off the coast of Guernsey. The mysterious shapes were spotted earlier in the week and are described as a long, motionless object that measured up to a mile wide.
544, zone pass message. Do you have any traffic, not really say how far, but by 12 o'clock level? Roger, I've got a very bright object, well, say different, say how far, extremely bright, yellow-orange object, straight ahead, very flat platform. We're looking at it through binoculars as we speak. 544, Roger, I do have a primary contact now. Very faint primary contact, just to the left, approximately 11 o'clock this time, in a range of about 4 trap miles. Roger. I've got a definite contact by 12 o'clock. Very bright yellow object looking, well, like a cigar.
Jersey Bladder 832, the zone asked us to look if we could see an object which is being seen by A-Line at the moment. We've got something about 8 o'clock resembling the description.
Roger, and 832, Roger, what range would you estimate that target?
Around about the similar range to Albany from us now.
Well, looking through binoculars as I am now, there's a second one just appeared behind the first one from where I am. Roger 544, just confirming that all the passengers can see this aircraft. I've got the island visual, it's dead ahead. Can't say how far, probably 5 miles, but it's staying the same size. Looks to be off the northwest coast of Albany. A-Line 544, Roger, would you like to send? Please, I better go down, I think.
544, roger, descend to altitude 2,000 feet, the QNH is 1021.
Then 2,000 feet 1021, it's very plain to see from where I am now, without any binoculars.
Were you scared?
I wasn't too happy, put it that way. I was quite glad to get on the ground and have a cup of tea.
We flew to Guernsey, an island off the northwest coast of France, to get some first-hand testimony where the sighting took place. Here, we met with Captain Ray Bowyer and two of his passengers.
We're travelling back from Southampton to Alderney in a Trailander. I had noticed Ray looking out through the windscreen with his binoculars, which is quite unusual.
I saw Ray turn around and talk to someone behind him while we were flying. Now, it wasn't worrying from the standpoint of flying, but it was unusual. And he was gesturing to something down below.
On nearing the object, a second identical shape appeared beyond the first. Both objects were of a flattened disc shape with a dark area to the right. They were brilliant yellow with light emanating from within, and I estimated them to be up to possibly a mile across.
I pointed it out to John. He had to lean across me to be able to see it.
It was like that.
This was a big object in the sky, very, very big object, and I didn't want to be too close to it. So it was at that time anyway where we had to descend to land, and with both objects still visible and to a lot of the passengers in the back of the aircraft, we descended through the 2,000-foot haze layer and lost sight of it.
So Ray, why didn't you bring this to the attention of your passengers? I mean, normally when a pilot sees something of interest, he says, if you look out to your left, you'll see...
Yeah, New York. It was a little bit far away from here. Well, it was, I didn't want to alarm anybody at that point. There again, as we got closer to these objects, there was no hiding it. They were just there.
The code word today is Wednesday Motion. Go ahead and drop Wednesday Motion in the comments below if you made it all the way through the video. I do swim through the comments and I see who posts it. I might not be able to heart or react to each one, but I do swim through the comments, and it's appreciated to every one of you guys. And I just want to say thank you very much for your support. Be sure to head over to Jet Ski Chuck where I post newer, longer videos. And we also take a look at TikToks that need a second look for the newer viewers. This was the most disturbing videos on the internet today. See you soon.